In today's video, we are doing a detailed momentum and volatility analysis on the macro and the short-term price action, discussing exactly what needs to happen for the buyers to step back in and even the possibility for an extended correction. Few are watching exactly what we are going to be discussing in today's video. Strap in and let's jump on in. Okay, MegaWhale team, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Ever since the rejection at 108,000, Bitcoin has been in a steadily decreasing downtrend, resulting in a move to 92,000, retesting some very important levels on the daily and short-term charts. In today's video, we're going to be discussing exactly what needs to happen for the buyers to reverse the price action back upwards and the risk factors which could lead to an extended correction. We'll be discussing critical reversal points, giving you a short-term plan to navigate the price action and going over a few macro charts. Before we get into it, smash that like button, hit that comment button, and subscribe to the channel. We post daily videos of Bitcoin focusing on the facts, the data, the technical and the structural information. No hype, no BS, no emotion, pure raw TA. If that is the kind of content you are interested in, join us on Telegram. This is the first link down below. You'll get access to charts, updates, videos, educational posts, news events, and everything you need to stay in the loop with cryptocurrency with Bitcoin and the relevant economic news. We'll be starting to post in this channel again now, as we did take a short break over the Christmas period. If you were interested in taking your trading to the next level, you can join the VIP channel. We post trading setups with exact entry prices, exact targets, exact stop losses, trade justification, exclusive analysis, and so much more. You'll also get access to our group chats, our general chat, our trading chart education chat, our daily video chat, our help, and our news chat. If you were interested in joining over 700 members in the VIP, simply contact me via the most recent pinned comment. We have a sale on at the moment to get access to that VIP channel. You can also click our membership detail link and our trading track record link to see a 50+ month trading track record. Check it out and let's dive on in. So as we can see, over the last few days, Bitcoin has been slowly laddering back down toward the downside. Some notable events which have occurred, of course, the weekly candle close happening in 24 hours, currently remaining relatively bearish, a neutral candle being that doji print, but overall in terms of the price point, closing underneath that $97,000 to $98,000 region will mark most likely a bearish continuation. And of course, on the daily chart, notable retests have been that 50 EMA retest represented by that red line. Now, the 50 EMA is a volatility indicator. Therefore, as we see the price action move away from the 50 EMA, we have increasing volatility. And when we see the price action pull back towards the 50 EMA, that can represent decreasing volatility. In this instance, when we see the price action move towards the 50 EMA after being away from the 50 EMA, this is a representation of exhaustion. This is bullish exhaustion. This is a bad sign, guys. And what we can see here with the RSI, which is our relative strength index down on the bottom side over here, we can see a very steady downtrend. Now we have that bearish divergence print from a lower high on the RSI and a higher high on the price action, again indicating a discrepancy between buying strength and momentum, which resulted in this pullback. But what we can see on the RSI is if we drag that trend line across, this is also a representation of the momentum during the price period from the entrance into this uptrend. So we're looking around that $89,000 region onwards. We have got bearish momentum, we have got decreasing bullish volatility, and we are moving into some critical levels of support. So we do have some major risk factors here which could lead to downtrends, but with these risk factors, we have also got very clear invalidations, which if we break, the buyers will step back in. So some very key levels we are watching watching in the video today. Moving over to the data, we can see 24-hour volume down 49%. Expected, we are in the weekend, 105 billion. Volume very, very low. Actually, some of the lowest volume we have seen for quite some time. Moving into the end of year and new year, that is expected. And liquidations down 54%, 109 million. 49 million coming from longs, 60 million coming from shorts, suggesting that we are still seeing this aggressive chop continue. We could see over here how aggressive that chop has been, particularly over the past 24 hours, with next to no movement in Bitcoin's price action whatsoever occurring. We'll come back and discuss this chart in a moment. Moving over to the DXY. DXY hasn't opened yet, but sitting at 108 over here. Again, we are expecting the DXY to continue toward the upside until one or two things happen. Number one, interest rates reduce. If interest rates reduce again, we expect a pullback on the DXY. And number two, if we drop below this prior established higher low, that would be confirmation of a continuation toward the midline. But until then, we are bullish. We have broken out. We are above this level of resistance. We have retested it. We've continued. We are expecting continuations to 110. Moving over to the S&P 500, and then we will jump into Bitcoin. S&P 500 not looking too shabby here, but really not looking amazing. You know, we did this horribly bearish red candle, not only rejecting from that prior high at 101,000, as we can see right over here, but dropping back below and engulfing that green open price. We've also seen the price action drop below our prior higher highs over here, and we have seen our current weekly candle again attempt to break back above these most recent highs, but failing to do so. So we are seeing the initiation of a downtrend established over here. The big question is, are we going to see the selling pressure continue into the new year and result in this downtrend to our lows over here, or will we see the price action climb back upwards? Either way, for us to be bullish on the S&P 500 on the short term, we absolutely need to see the price action close a weekly above 6,100. Above 6,100, we expect continuations higher. Until then, this is a very risky place to be entering new positions, and the possibility of these corrections into 5,700 are very, very real. So at the moment, this is going to be a very cautious zone. Wait that little bit for confirmation and then continue. I like to say confirmation is the insurance you pay to be right. You don't always need to be in a position. Okay guys, let's jump into Bitcoin. Before we do, if you are interested in supporting the content, supporting me making it, and supporting yourself as a trader, sign up to BitGet, BitUnix, or BingX. Those are the three exchanges we use personally. You can find them in the links down below. You'll get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15%, which can build up to 45% based on your trading volume. Check it out. We'll play an ad and we'll jump back into the video. If you are looking for a new exchange or just want to support the channel, sign up to BitUnix with the link down below. You'll get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15%, which can build up to 45% based on your trading volume, as well as access to a bonus reward center, and of course, all of the exclusive campaigns we run on this exchange. You'll also get access to BitUnix being a non-KYC exchange, meaning you can sign up from anywhere in the globe without regulations. And most importantly, I only promote exchanges I trust and I use. As you can see, I trade on BitUnix very regularly, being the highest VIP level with over $500 million in trading volume for the last 30 days. And lastly, if you were interested in signing up to our other two exchanges, BingX or BitGet, you can also do that via the links down below. You as well will get the 15% trading fee discount and everything else that comes with it. Go ahead and sign up. Thank you for supporting. Let's jump back in. Okay, legends, let's go ahead and jump back in, and I want to start on the daily chart. So as we mentioned very briefly in the intro, we are testing some very important levels. Now, I want to first and foremost go over the RSI, which is our momentum indicator, which again, we had this major bearish divergence print from that $108,000 high we printed back at the 15th of December. Since we had that bearish divergence print, we have really seen the price action drop a significant amount back to these lows that we established before we saw that rally up at early December. As we can see with this correction, we are getting very close to retest the leading span A of the Ichimoku cloud. For those of you who do not know that, I'm just going to go ahead and make this a little bit more visible. This is going to be that, let's just change it to a red so we can see it. This is going to be the upper level of the Ichimoku cloud, okay, the leading span A, the red line, as well as this other red line, which we can see is a 50 EMA. So we have some major points of support from a technical perspective converging at this $92,000 region. Now, if we look at the price action from a price perspective, this $92,000 region, just sub 92,000, is actually a very major liquidity level. As we can see, we have had two major liquidity wicks into here. We had our first low, which was established on the 28th at 91 to 92,000, and we had that major flash correction retest that level. So at the moment, we have the 50 EMA, and we have the leading span A sitting within this region. We'll come back and discuss that in a second. But these two levels are major levels of support, but they are also complements for continuations. If we were to see a breakdown of these levels, this would mark a very early sell signal, which could result in extended continuations downward for Bitcoin. Essentially, what it would suggest that the developing downtrend that we have seen since the bearish divergence is triggered has developed now into a strong downtrend, which could continue significantly lower. Now, by significantly lower, we would be suggesting a level at around 88,000 to maybe 86,000, the lower band of the Ichimoku cloud at around $86,000. So these are two levels we are watching with, we're really paying attention to these levels, because historically what we have seen when we break below these levels, particularly when we break below the 50 and the leading span, we do generally see continuations, especially when the price action is not in a consolidation range. When it is after these expansionary moves upwards or these moves toward the downside, we'll see these reversal signals print. Another thing we are watching is going to be this RSI, this momentum indicator, and this is simply going to be bearish. At the moment, it is simply bearish. It is suggesting that through the price range between the point of which we entered the RSI, okay, we had this RSI retest, that first high, and the second high onwards, I'm just going to go ahead and draw it out. From this point onwards, I'm not going to box it out over here, we have had negative momentum. Momentum has been negative from here onwards, and as we can see in the RSI, it has been downtrending since. Now, as we know, for price action to continue upwards, we look for three things. We look for trend, we look for structure, and we look for strength. In regards to strength, we monitor the momentum. That is going to be our main indicator of strength, momentum. So what we want to see for the buyers to get back in control, we absolutely want to see the RSI break back above this downtrend. If the RSI can break back above this downtrend, we will be flipping bullish on Bitcoin again, and we will be expecting continuations likely into brand new highs, or at least to retest that $108,000 region. Until that happens, we do run the risk of corrections back into this liquidity zone, but it is very important to note, as we have just shown, the correction we have seen from 108 downwards is getting very close to the end. From our technical levels, from our levels of liquidity, it is getting close to the end. And what do I mean by that? That doesn't mean, we're going to bottom over here. It means that if we take a look at the distance from our top to the current price, this distance is likely going to be larger than the distance between the current price and the bottom of the next correction. So if we do see a move toward the downside, we're looking, 86, 88,000, potentially $90,000. That is still going to be a smaller move comparatively from the $108,000 to where we are now, okay? We have a whole bunch of support as indicated by these levels sitting at this region, and we do have very strong confidence to what will occur if we lose 88. So let's talk about that right now, guys. If we drop below 88,000, what we can see right over here is we have got, I'll bring it up on the BRPV, is we have got a major volume gap. The volume gap is sitting between that $86,000 to $88,000 region, all the way down into our next levels at around 78,000, and of course we have another peak at around 69,000, meaning if we do drop below our lowermost level of liquidity in this established support range, we will likely see a stronger correction for Bitcoin. Hence why we have said if we drop below these points of confluence, the probability for us to see a sweep into those lows significantly increase, and that could result in a stronger downtrend. So for that to be confirmed, we need to look at the short-term charts. Let's move over to the short-term charts. As we can see over here, we have got a very important trend line, which I do want to show you. This is going to be the downtrending trend line marked out by our recent high at 108 and our retest of the prior lower high at 99 to 100,000, representing a downtrend. We have also got a RSI trend line confirming the retest of these 2 points, suggesting that the trend and the momentum are in sync. Therefore, what we are watching for a reversal is both of these levels breaking, both a RSI breakout and both the trend to break. If we see both of these things, we will be confident in a reversal back to retest that $100,000 region. If we only get one of the two things, we are going to be assuming that the breakout is a fake out and will not sustain. So we need both of those things occurring. Now, while we do not have either of those things, the expectation is the price action will continue along the trend line toward the downside until it eventually gets those breakouts. When those breakouts occur, no matter where they occur, it will likely result in a reversal for Bitcoin. Now again, the lower that breakout occurs, the less significant the breakout could be on the higher time frame structure. If we break out sooner, it is more likely we move up to our early resistances, where if we break out later, these lower levels of liquidity could turn into resistance. So ideally, for the buyers, we want to break out that level sooner than later. Those are really the key levels we are watching, guys. We are watching, again, on the 4-hour, the RSI breakout and the 4-hour downtrend. On the daily, we are watching the daily downtrend, the RSI, we are watching the 50 EMA, and we are watching the leading span A. So let's talk about our current levels of support. If we jump to our short-term chart, as we can see, the key levels of support below us are sitting at 91,800 to 90,800. We also have one at 89,800 to 88,800, and then we have got this $87,000 to $86,000 region. As we mentioned, the drop below 86,000 would result in a significant correction for Bitcoin. So this is going to be our lower most liquidity level. This is our sell side liquidity. This is the point at which we do not want to see the price action lose, because if we drop below this level and we do not flip this as deviation, meaning we flip this as a resistance, the possibility of stronger continuations are much greater. The worst case scenario for Bitcoin is going to be a drop in, a deviation for a continuation back to highs. At the moment, we are sitting between a very strong level of liquidity and a very strong level of resistance, and we are simply chopping, as you can see, with the downtrend of this diagonal trend line acting as a dynamic resistance. At the moment, Bitcoin is very uncertain. And we can also see that uncertainty spread into the weekly chart as represented by this doji candle. Again, a doji candle is simply a candle which shows us, or is an expression of uncertainty and indecision during the week traded for Bitcoin. So for Bitcoin right now, we are not making any rash decisions. We are simply sitting, being patient and waiting. When these trend lines break, when we see strength, we will look for continuations. When we see that RSI break, we will expect macro continuations, assuming the downward move is complete as a consequence of that momentum shifting positive. While neither of those two things have occurred, we are open to the possibility of continuations into our lowermost levels of support, which all act as reversal points and all act as critical levels which Bitcoin will need to sustain above. Now, as we have said already, if we go to a macro chart, this correction is not really enough for us to say the top is in. It doesn't really scream the top is in yet. We do need to see some higher time frame confluence for that. However, if we do see that drop below 86,000, it is likely those macro indicators will start to flip very bearish. But like we said, this move is entirely avoidable if we see that momentum flip back positive prior to $86,000 breaking. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll make a second video on our second channel at some point discussing the altcoin market. I do want to quickly go over this though, however. The total 3 market cap, as we can see, is sitting above this prior 2021 high point. Now, historically, we have seen corrections post-breakout. I want to show you right over here, right? We saw this correction post-breakout. We are seeing exactly the same thing happen over here. So again, I am macro bullish for Bitcoin. I'm macro bullish for cryptocurrency. And I will remain macro bullish until we see deviation. If this price drops back below 3 trillion, that is going to be a massive, massive warning sign, a massive sell point for cryptocurrency. But until then, it does look like we are following that 2021 cycle. We have the breakout, we have a strong correction, not quite to retest, and then we have that next leg toward the upside. So I am bullish. I'm expecting we are following something similar to what we have seen prior, and we're going to see that continuation, but we absolutely need to hold above 86,000 for that to play out. Thanks for tuning in. Have a fantastic day. Catch you in the next one. Bye.